one.
I'm in a weird situation.
God! Right as I'm about to start talking, Caleb goes. Hello, welcome back to the Usually Strange podcast. It's Halloween time, which is why you probably don't recognize how we look. Currently in our server, we're doing a competition, which is why you see Theseus is Spooderman. I am the Doctor. Ramen is CT7567.
Yo.
And Luigi Chief is literally Aperture Science.
We have a special guest.
Hooray!
Yeah, we have Sussy Milk, otherwise known as Water Source, who is a friend of mine, Ramen's, and Luigi Chief's from high school. We all met there.
If you know, you know. That's all we have to say.
Today we were doing the $1 million question. If you don't know what that is, basically it's sort of like one of those trade-off things where it's you get $1 million, but this happens. One of the ones that we talked about for a little while was something along the lines of you get $1 million for any time you spin that somebody dies, and it was just somebody random. So stuff like that. So today we're gonna do a mix of that and would you rather questions.
So mine was $1 million because he had come up with $1 million, but you spend like an hour with an SCP?
It was $1 billion.
$1 billion.
But once a year, the rest of your life, you have to go and spend an hour with a random SCP. If you don't know what an SCP is, it's just basically something, whether it's human or non-human, something that has some sort of special properties that affects things.
It's a better way of describing that is it's a group of it's a foundation that collects a group of anomalous objects that can do things from ending the world to cutting your hair.
Yeah, it varies very differently, and there are all sorts of classes. And then we started talking about what the rules were, and we eventually decided on what was it?
You spend a whole day. You spend a whole day. You get an alert about you get an alert that there's an SCP coming after you, and you get everything except for its description of the object. And if you know anything else to the extent that would be removed. If you know everything about it, then you get nothing.
Yeah.
And so you just get an alert basically saying that you have an SCP going after you, and it's an SCP that does not immediately kill you because there's a lot of those.
Yeah, there's a lot like give 682, which is a very popular one. If you don't know what it is a lizard or a reptile. It's a giant reptile that it basically can evolve. Yeah, it's an indestructible lizard that can evolve to basically anything, and that sort of thing would kill you on the spot.
And so the proposal in full was you get $1 billion, but you have once a year for a full day you are alerted about an SCP that either is coming after you or you're able to use, and it's completely random out of the 6,000 SCPs it can be.
Is there 6,000? I thought there was even more.
I think they're on Series 6 or 7, which is 6,000.
I think they're on Series 7 because I remember trying to make one. We started talking and it was like, hey, it could be very scary because you could get something like 173, which is something that if you take your eyes off of it, it'll kill you.
It moves even when you're not looking at it, and it can move a good distance when you're blinking as well. And it'll snap your neck if it gets to you.
Yeah, so it's something that you theoretically can deal with as long as you know how to deal with it. But it would still be relatively hard if you didn't. And so I think some of the ones. You can go ahead.
I was gonna say, would y'all take the moment for this situation? Yes, this is us.
Because we've already. Yeah, basically you turn to a D class for the day and are assigned to a certain thing that you may have known about and you may not have. Yeah, we talked about this for a while, which is why I think we're struggling to talk about it, because we went down the line. There's one that's like made out of fish hooks that we talked about, that basically slowly draws you in further, and it's just like a bundle of fish hooks and like fishing line that just slowly will kill you by like bleeding to death. Yes. Yeah, I don't know if I would do it. But it's $1 billion. Like that's a shit ton of money.
How often did it happen again?
Once
It
a year.
happens once a year for the rest of your life.
There's a high
Even if you
chance
use
of-
up all of that money.
$1 billion for a year.
It's a high chance of death every time, though. Depending on
You
what
could get something that's not harmful. Something that you don't have to interact with, as long as you know what it does.
Yeah, but out of like
D-class can survive, I can survive.
most of them don't.
Yeah, that's the thing, is even the security doesn't usually survive. Like I brought up the thing of 073, who is a man who kills all plant life around him, but also reflects any damage done to him onto the person who's dealing with it. Like, that would be an interesting conversation to like talk to him and learn shit about it. But that would also mean that you would be willing to do that. Or you could get something like 096, which is Shy Guy, and if you look at him, you're dead.
He will hunt you
It's
down.
just like, yeah, he'll hunt you down for the rest of the life. Oh, I forgot one of the rules. The other rules. The effects end at the end of that day.
Oh,
so if it's some sort
if
of
anything that-
disease,
yeah.
it goes away at the end of the day. So as long as it's a long-term thing, you're pretty much fine. You're not gonna die from it. But I don't think I would do it.
What about you, Source? Would you take the billion?
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what the question is.
Get out.
God damn it! I knew it was a bad idea.
Oh,
Basically,
it was a
you know
very
what
long
SCPs
explanation.
are, right?
Alright, he doesn't get to talk.
Alright,
Alright. DCS, would you take the billion?
I don't remember the question either. I was too busy yelling at my sister to turn off the TV.
All right.
Great.
Did anyone think of a question?
No.
Good God.
We're thinking
Oh,
of
but
Okay,
would you rather
okay,
question?
okay. I have
Wait,
one.
that's-
I have
that's
one.
the end of the
$1
episode.
million.
Sorry.
You cannot use any form of like silverware or bowls or plates or anything like that for the rest of your life.
Question.
Oh, yeah, I'd
Can
take
I
it.
make
No.
my own?
I'd take it. Fuck that.
Can I make my own bowls, plates, or whatever?
You can use your hands. That's it.
Yeah,
like,
left
say,
hand
if
has a
I find,
plane,
like,
your
a
right hand has
circular
a fork.
rock, can I use that?
No, you can't use anything that can hold it.
So nothing
Other than your
flat
hands.
or like cup related in any
You
kind of
can.
way. for the
So
rest of your
here's the
life.
thing, is you can put it on like a table. That's about it.
What if it's a soup? Then you're just not eating any soup.
So you can.
What if it's a table in the shape of a plate?
No, that's a
That's a smart boy
loophole.
right there.
No. So like you can
the
use
table,
this-
the
you
table in
can
question
use-
has to be flat. I'd say.
Yeah. So you can use anything you want to make said food. But the moment you start eating it, you cannot use any sort of fork, spoon, bowl, plate, or cup. Nothing like that.
What
I
about
just
pot?
So
found a
anytime-
loophole
Can I
that-
use a
that's sweet.
fucking rock from outside and clean it?
No.
Because that's cheating. That defeats the
He
whole
literally
purpose.
said you have to use your hands to eat anything.
You have to
Inclu-
use your hands. You have to use your hands to eat. You can't use like you just couldn't. You just straight up couldn't use soda.
Could somebody else feed you?
I mean, you can
Yes,
use soda. You just
but
gotta
that's
drink
gonna
it
be
like crap
awkward.
out of the river.
It's gonna be
It is
awkward as
$1 million.
hell.
I
He's
okay.
using my
I
hand.
think you could do.
What if you fill up a pool with it, with like a soda?
Okay.
What's gonna happen now? The
I'm
pool.
invited him to the
Would
party.
that still would that be considered a pole?
Hey,
What if you go swimming in it and you accidentally drink some? Would that?
Well,
that
that's
count?
not accidentally drinking.
Then
You're,
you
you're
die.
swimming in with the purpose of drinking it.
No, you swim in
you're-
it. You know how you accidentally drink water while you're swimming in the
No.
pool?
No, you're the only one.
You're the only
No, I
one who
do that
drinks
as
the
well.
pea-filled
Okay,
water.
okay, fine. I'll shut up then.
if
Yeah,
I
get
get
the-
some
get
in
the
my water,
chloroform out of your
I'll
water.
most of the time spit it out. If I get some in my mouth, I'll spit it out. So no, like, you're
Absolutely
gonna die
disgusting.
because
You
of
guys are
you're
disgusting.
ingesting pool cleaning chemicals,
And piss.
And
And
you
shit.
drink.
and you're okay.
It just adds to the
speaking of
flavor.
that-
It's like seasoning a soup.
So, do you guys know why your eyes sting when somebody pees in the water? Oh my god, that just clicked in my brain. I just taught 14-year-olds how to make explosives.
Alright, so we had to skip an entire section because he started talking about explosives, and that's not good.
Yep, my
Hey,
bad.
you cannot give another
Then
story
I
time.
was just trying to share. Dude, you want to know where I learned that? I learned that at a fucking children's museum. They taught that to me at a children's museum.
Did you know?
And it should be fine.
Yeah,
if you
Yeah,
no,
have fun.
legitimately.
Yeah, kids. And after that,
Legitimately.
you can go home, make some fun time
Man, we had
mustard
to
gas
delete
party.
No, you didn't.
No, that's not. I don't think that, cause I remember being taught that in elementary school.
Why? What the fuck did
Bro,
y'all
what
do in
school did you go
elementary?
to?
Yeah,
I
it was like
remember them
elementary
telling
was
me
pretty
specifically
tame.
not to do that.
Was your military also known as?
2-year-old is gonna. High
What?
school,
That's why we're still on the
elementary.
topic. And every second we go, I'm have to clip that out, you know.
Yep, just get okay.
Delete the fucking VOD.
Oh my god, we're only gonna have 30 seconds of this podcast.
It's gonna be the first fucking like the 3 minutes is gonna be just explaining something, and then no one's gonna listen, and then it's gonna be going to that.
$1 million, but you can't use cars or anything like that.
Cars?
We'll immediately out. No.
No.
I do.
Oh, it is,
Buses or. You know,
But-
I don't have to. it's
no.
not a
So
car.
you
No.
can't use any mechanical form of transportation.
Not
I
even
can
the
However-
passenger.
My career
Is a mechanical
Okay, so-
form of
Can
transport.
do this.
There's horses. Just gotta go back to the olden days. Those
Okay.
people had a
What was
30%
your
chance
however?
of surviving. Mostly that you can use. I guess as long as you're not driving it, which means that you constantly have to get Ubers and stuff.
Well, you're a
The $1 million
millionaire. You can get,
pay
you
for
can get
that.
a, you
Your
can get
million
a
would just go
driver.
down the drain in a week
But that-
going on Uber.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like you could do it, you would lose majority of the money that you have.
For having a chaperone? What?
But well, no, like getting an Uber every time you need to go somewhere.
It'd just be really inconvenient because you have to wait like 15 minutes.
Or you can get a horse, because I think it's actually
You're,
legal. Is
you're
it legal?
driving a horse.
Oh, I
You're
said
right.
mechanical. I
Mechanical.
said. There's a reason I said mechanical
Do merry-go-rounds
form
count?
of
You
transport.
could drive a horse
Go
through
around.
water, but you can't make it swim.
So for Waters' question, merry-go-rounds count. No, you're not going anywhere.
But
You're
you're
gonna
going around,
arrive-
a
You
circle, so
go-
you're technically going
You're-
somewhere.
But you're only arriving in the same spot. You cannot use
Not
it
if
to
I
go.
get off at the other end.
So are you in a car?
If you can, so you could just set up an entire line of merry-go-rounds, turn them on, then just hop from horse to horse.
Okay, no, that's another
You're a
loophole.
millionaire.
Never mind.
We
You
got a
cannot.
fucking
Amusement
$1 million. You
park.
can do whatever.
Amusement
I mean-
parks are now off limits.
What?
God damn.
But that's like fun.
Oh, yeah,
Too bad. Tried to break
Alright,
the
On roller
rules.
coasters.
Lucas coming up with
Do you know the
stupid
sling- do you know the
ideas.
slingshot thing that at
He's
Six
just
Flags you
trying
can
to
just
find.
launch yourself.
Oh my god!
Just
I
put on a
remember
parachute.
at Schlitterbahn, they had that like slingshot thing where you were in like a glass ball. They would just shoot you up into the air. they doesn't have
I
a
always-
return mechanism. It just launches you, and you just got a parachute. Good luck.
I always wanted to go on one of those.
I never
I
did,
love
dude.
the
I
parachute.
have an insane fear of heights. There's no way.
I always wanted to go on one of those, but every time I was there, it was like it's too windy. Like, damn.
Like I was insanely uncomfortable when I went to the Eiffel Tower. Like I just sat down for the majority of the time because I was just like, oh, this is gonna make me throw up. Like my anxiety just went through the roof.
Just
Because you can feel at that height, you can feel the structure wiggling, and it is so
Oh.
uncomfortable.
I think that's cool.
Like the Empire State Building was awful. You could
I think
feel
I've
it
been-
like
yeah, I went
swaying.
up there. I didn't feel it swaying. I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It
windy
was
for me that day.
windy the day I went. It was
Well, it's
not fun.
always windy up there. It feels like it's always windy up there.
Because all the hot air is rising up there.
My dad was telling me a story of like there was this place and it has like a normal floor. It's like a super high building almost. I guess you could equate it to the Space Needle almost. Where it was sort of this building that had a platform that hang. And so there was normal floor and then there was just straight glass floor. So this is making me cringe even talking about it. That you could see to the ground through the floor. There were like the walls. They had certain walls that slowly went sideways, like 45 degrees. So you were just hanging off the building practically, from what I understand. And that anytime he told me that story, my just everything was like tight. I was just like, oh my god, why did you do that? It was because he was like, I had to crawl to even look over the glass floor because I guess he has a slight fear of heights as well. But I feel like any sane person would be uncomfortable in that situation. Alright.
For me, it's the fact that like it's made and it's been there for like a while, and it's designed to where it's not gonna break. So
But here's
I'm
the
not
thing.
really scared.
One of those boxes was broken. It had broken in the past week or something like that, and I'm just like,
Well, then maybe I'd be a little bit
Roll
nervous if it
enough.
broke like that. Well, like how did it break? Like the glass broke?
I think I don't remember what part of it, but either the mechanism or the glass itself was cracked. But yeah, that was interesting. I don't like tall buildings. I guess a good thing for me would be $1 million, but you have to live on a high rise for the rest of your life.
You get a
I would
mil-
probably say no.
I got a good one. You get $1 million, but
I got a good
you
one.
develop a massive fear of like heights, but not like unreasonable heights. Like not like really tall, but like a foot off the ground, and you're like terrified.
So if you're standing,
I would shit my
Fucking
pants
going
every day.
upstairs and shit your
That's the whole
pants just going
point.
up one.
Ah, that's actually a relatively good one.
Walking up the
I
stairs,
don't know.
you're
I would
just-
not do that. I'm currently on the second floor of my building.
Yeah, I don't think I would either. Cause
you
that
wake
means,
up, you
like,
look
no
out the window
second
like,
stories.
"Oh, wait, I'm on the second floor.
Wait,
You would
is this
you would be
0.1
scared of
inches off the
jumping
equator?
then. Okay, you would be scared of jumping, correct?
I'd say jumping is fine.
You're a foot off the fucking ground. Making
depends how high your vertical is.
Well, yeah, it depends on how high you get. At a certain point, you'd be like, ooh.
You just get
Ooh.
you just get
Just for
that
the
like
split
weightless
second.
feeling.
Yeah, like how
I
you're
don't
on
think
like
I
the
would
boat
because that would
rides.
just be
Your
just be
stomach just
terrible.
drop.
That would be terrible.
do
Like,
it.
yeah, I don't
When
think
you-
I would do
when
it
you-
either.
when you
afraid
get
of
that
heights?
feeling, it's
Were
like a
you afraid
phobia.
of- Are you afraid
I
of
wouldn't be
heights in
taking that.
like games too?
No, I don't.
You know it's not
I
you.
don't-
As long as you know it's not you that's experiencing that, then you're fine. But if
I get
it's
motion
you,
Phobia
sick when I'm
work,
falling
though.
in games, but that's it.
That's not how phobias work, though.
well, I mean,
I
it's-
don't. So I have a fear of falling, like the falling feeling. I really hate that feeling to the point that I'm scared of it. So like swings
so you don't
slightly
like that
freak me
boat
out.
ride?
That's sinking.
What boat ride?
The boat ride that like swings left up and down, or like. I don't know,
Oh
how to
God, no.
describe.
Yeah, I know which one. You're the one that does like loops.
Well, it doesn't. Most of them don't do loops. The one I'm talking about, like the kid ones that just go back and forward.
Those don't. I don't like the feeling of being weightless, but I think it's just because usually when I'm weightless, it means that I've been falling long enough that I could get hurt.
I'm about
You
to go.
can fucking break your foot off a 1-foot drop.
That's fair, but that's also
That's if you don't
do
land
that, you're kind of an idiot.
Also, your bones are weak if you do that.
Got strong bones.
Yeah, you fucking fall down in general, fucking old guy die.
Rocket League, when you're driving and it like kind of like just shoves you to the left because you're actually to the left then instead of being to the right.
Yeah.
Okay, so your position just
that.
gets auto-corrected.
Yeah,
You rubber
yeah.
band.
Basically, what you think is your position isn't what your actual position is for a little bit, and then it cuts back.
On
yeah,
top
you
of the Eiffel
basically
Tower, it
rubber
gets
band.
auto-corrected off.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if like
I'd
if
stay on
that's
the
how
ground, bro.
That's how it
Walk
happens.
through fucking
No way in
doors,
hell.
Slip
Taking
into
that
the
like,
ground.
into the wall.
Help someone dig me
I don't think
out.
you'll clip through anything. You'll just if you hit a wall, then yeah.
So like set you backwards. Like when you try to talk, you have like a half a second delay of what you when you mean to say it.
fuck
If your
with my
actual
head, I can't do
body,
that.
if your actual body is like further back, then you could go through walls, and then you could like clip back to where your actual body is.
Can I exploit it
It's see
for
your
glitches?
hitbox and what your view is separate.
Mm.
That's the best way of putting it.
This could probably help me in the life speedrun world record. Find a new exploit glitch.
I don't think I would do it
latency would
because
help you with that.
I already get frustrated with latency in games like Rainbow. You guys remember the night that?
Oh, imagine latency on top of latency in games.
Oh my
That
god!
would be horrible.
So
gotta
is
press
it
a button,
is it
press
like
Alt.
is it like how it is in like certain like with like Wi-Fi sometimes where it's
Yeah.
only like occasional?
Yeah.
Or like is it
I'd say
constant?
it's not as often as it would
You
happen
just
if you
get
have
really
if you're
bad
having
lag.
lag on games. But I'd say
What the
it's enough. I'd say it happens a certain amount of times a day.
Okay.
Would
Yeah,
would there be
I-
a way to like get better to get a better connection?
Kid better.
No,
You
yeah,
plug
there's
in
no way
Ethernet
of really
cord.
getting. There's no way of getting better connection to life. No.
Okay, so it's just randomly
It's
that,
life's
that it
router.
happens.
Yeah. And then
I
you'd
don't
see
think I
like
would do
sometimes
it,
you
'cause
if
I
it
would-
gets bad you see like a little disconnect symbol or you get a disconnect symbol on your
Just
phone.
the Call of Duty, like the old Black Ops music. Dun 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 dun. Just with the fucking Ethernet disconnected symbol.
Or you could have that instead of like the thing where you're glitching
Yeah,
out. You
customize.
walk fine, but everything else is like just like frozen.
Do other
And then you
people
just
notice
rubber
it?
band back.
I feel like other
Do they
people
just
just
see
see
you,
you
like,
just
just
see you
going back and
walking into
forth?
things, and you'd be like, it'd be like in games that one person that has good connection, the other person that doesn't. You'd see that one person just driving off and like they're just moving in
Yeah,
one
okay.
direction.
Okay.
Again, I don't think I would do it because I would just get frustrated. I'd just be like, God damn it! I just like
Kid,
there would be
lagged
points where I'm
forward.
trying to set like my cup on like a countertop and I just drop it on the ground because I kept moving. Just like, God damn it, not
you
another
can
one.
add another million, and it'll also affect your voice.
Oh no! Just
You heard
garbled
me.
like.
Your mouth is.
I might do that because that would be funny.
That
That would just be like a gag that you would just do every once in a while. Just like,
Should-
oh, like,
It's called a stutter.
Can I
yes,
just take
wrench
the
is good,
voice
Scott.
one and not the movement lag?
I don't know.
Or do you just want the voice one? You can have
Yeah,
have
but
either.
what if-
you have the
what if you
option of
Can it be
either
a
or.
feature?
But you can get
Okay.
2
It's like-
million if you.
Then
you
I'd
do
take the
both.
voice. Then I'd take the voice for the million.
Oh! I remembered a really good one from last night. $1
Oh,
million
man,
dollars.
let's say that.
Every time you spend a part of that $1 million. So if you spend $100 out of that $1 million, your senses start to go away.
Oh.
I said fuck that. I don't like what I said.
You lose a. It was a you lose a percentage of your senses
So-
every time you spend.
So
a bit of that money.
$100. How much out of $1 million is that? Hang on, let me do some quick maths.
That's $100.
10
Would you lose
Like
all your
one
senses if you
10,000?
spent it out, or would you still have some of your senses left?
until they go to 0%. That's how you.
Okay, hang on. What is so
What if you
It's
earn
about a
money back?
10,000.
So every $10,000 spent, you lose 1% of your senses.
Like, is
Actually,
it a universal
that's a lot of money.
percentage or what?
Yes, that is a universal percentage. You can no longer get that percentage back. If you spend like 30,000 on a car, you lose 3% of all of your senses. I guess one of the things that we said was maybe not your sight, so at least you could still see.
I'd say your sight would. I'd say my adjustment to that would be proportional depending on how important your sense is to you.
Oh, that's
So
a
if
good.
your
That's
if
a
your
good.
sight is really important to you, then you would lose a lot less than say your sense of touch.
Then I'd do it.
Well, no, I would do it the opposite because I like listening to music, so I would
Yeah.
lose my hearing faster than anything else.
No, I meant like whatever you deem important, you would lose less of. Well, I mean,
I think, but I don't think that would be. I don't know.
Universal one is a lot more, at least sparing. Because then you could like adjust to like, oh, I could deal with that much of my favorite sense. And just
Yeah,
cut
I
it
guess,
there.
I guess that makes sense, but I feel like
do you want this to go against you? Against the
So-
person who's trying to get it?
yeah, I guess one of the things would be you would lose because touch is really important to everybody. I feel like
Not really.
knowing when you grab something because that's how your brain works. You don't know if you've grabbed something unless you can feel it. Which is how I
For me,
believe
as
that's
long
how.
as I can see, I just look and be like, grab it, and be like, all right, I grabbed it.
See, the only thing I hate about numbness is because I feel like I just can't move my hand very good.
My
It's not the
point
loss
was
of touch.
my point was like you would feel like you're constantly floating. Like you wouldn't be able to feel anything. Like you would feel like you're in a
there's no way we
sensory.
can know exactly what it feels like to not feel.
Well, we
Sure
can
you
sort
can,
of,
but you're
we
still
can
in-
sort of,
Shut up.
we can imagine with sensory deprivation tanks.
If you
That's the
close your
whole
eyes,
point
you
of
wouldn't
them.
know what you're doing. You could
Yeah.
be swimming and you close your eyes, or like you get something in your eyes. You wouldn't know if you're swimming up, swimming down, or what.
Well, yeah, your sense of
Drown.
direction.
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
you'd be able to tell you're drowning if you just can't breathe. You're like, oh shit.
That's the
what's
thing
my
is
lungs?
you would- you would-
Think today.
So here's the thing. Part of pain is also, I feel like, is
Send your
touch.
touch.
Okay. For
Yeah,
the sense of
sort of.
touch, would it just be like your entire nervous system would just completely disappear?
I feel like
Over time, as you spent the
stimulus,
money,
any
yeah.
form of stimulus would be gone, which would include pain. So you wouldn't like that's the dangerous thing is you could not realize that you cut yourself on something and then bam, you've got an infection that could kill you. I don't think I would do it if I lost my touch.
As you
in
said,
sight.
like you can control it, right? Like,
Yeah,
could
you can
eventually just
control
stop
it.
paying or buying, and then it's
So yeah,
stops there.
if I could
I'd do it.
control it, I guess
I'd do
sight
it.
and touch I would probably keep to go on the slowest.
Just spend it
Kid-
slowly and then realize.
Yeah, same for
"Alright,
me,
This
sign
is
and touch."
about like that's about my limit. I'm not going
Yeah,
any
you could-
lower.
Yeah, you could just not. You could stop spending that money at
Then
some
just
point.
don't take the
Can
money
you
at all.
spend your normal money?
Well,
like,
so then you
go-
wouldn't
yeah,
do
yeah.
it then.
Well, I mean, you're probably gonna have it like in a separate bank account, but what if someone else takes that bank account and spends it for you?
We've gotten into that
we
debate.
discussed
It's
that
still-
it
if
has
that
to
money-
be you spending it.
Well, no.
Then how would you get
Yeah.
that money back if someone else takes it?
What do you mean?
I feel like okay, if it's stolen, I don't think that's your fault. I don't think you would
It's
get
not.
punished for that.
It's
Then the
if-
person.
It only affects you if either you're spending it or you're lending it to someone to spend it for you. If someone
Yes,
steals
if
it,
it
then
gets-
that's not you lending it. That's them stealing it.
Yes. So then the
Well,
effects would go on to that person.
No.
Okay.
It's cursed.
So it's like cursed money. Yeah.
you're fucking
is
cursing other
money.
people.
Here we go,
Money
son.
is heads.
Have this money.
You convince someone to steal from you,
Donate
and then
to
there you go.
charity.
You've cursed them.
No, Caleb, that would
Give us
count
a
as
loan of $1
use.
million.
Okay. I believe that one actually sprouted from me talking about losing your ability to taste yesterday.
Yeah.
I think I talked about that one.
I don't recall you talking about that one.
Basically,
I remember
that
what
one
it
was, would you still, would you take $1 million if you could no longer taste or smell food?
If you had COVID, basically.
Well, no, like to the point that it just everything tastes like nothing. You can't taste anything.
Isn't that
I
what
think-
COVID?
I know what that. There's a natural person with that.
Yeah, that's
Can't taste or smell?
obviously a thing because those are nerves. So if you don't have those, that's how you live life, basically. Well,
I mean, I
there's
can
people
enjoy
who
everything
live.
else, right? I'd do it.
You can, so
I don't think I would.
you can touch, you can see,
I like
can
tasting food.
hear. So basically, like anything that somebody would be like, "Oh, this is delicious," it wouldn't taste like anything to you. It would taste like
So like eating rice.
no, because rice has a flavor.
No, all you'd be
A
able to
little
do
bit
is
of
just
flavor.
feel the texture in your mouth, and then that's it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like
exactly.
I would be grossed out by that because it would just feel like I'm eating vomit.
So you would have to like eat something.
But
that
vomit
doesn't
has a flavor.
stay in your mouth very long.
Vomit has flavor. That's the point.
Here's
It's got a
that's the
nice
thing,
texture
because
to
I
it.
don't like eating things like sweet potatoes because of the texture. Texture makes me gag all the
I
time.
hate the taste of it.
Or I don't mind the taste. I hate the texture. It makes me want to throw up every time I eat it. I don't think I would. I like eating. I like tasting food and like having good food experiences. That's the thing, is you can still eat food, and then maybe you wouldn't spend as much on food. You would just buy bland things that would get you through the day.
Yeah.
But then you might
wouldn't.
eat.
I like
yeah.
like tasting food when I eat it.
Being a kid who's been raised by a chef, like my mom again has a culinary degree. She, like, I've tasted all these different foods, and like, I don't think I could live without being able to do that. Like, food's a big part of my life.
I don't know. I have to have a test day, maybe.
Like, just see how it is
Like see
beforehand.
how it is before I actually commit to the decision.
Did you find any?
I have a $1 million question.
It's up to him
You
if-
can get
if
$1
he
million,
gives
but you can't spend any of it for yourself.
For yourself.
Oh, that's good.
Yourself.
Can you renew the $1 million, or do you only get it once?
It's only a one-time thing, but none of the money can be spent for yourself.
I think I would, because like I don't see, me personally, I don't spend a whole lot of money unless it's on video games and stuff, and that stuff's not really super expensive.
Oh,
Here's
God.
the thing. Now, if everyone knows you're a millionaire,
Yeah, I was
then
say it's gonna make
those
you look like
people
a
come to you.
like, well, it's gonna make you look like a jackass when you're like, I don't have any money. By the way, here's $5,000 for yourself. How the fuck are you gonna eat?
Yeah,
You're
that
asking
part,
people
but
for money
Well-
when people are gonna figure out you're a millionaire, and then they're gonna realize, why this man's asking my money? He has his millionaire.
like I feel like you would be able to explain that to like close people, like people
It
who are
makes no
close to you.
sense.
Look, you've made a
Then
deal
only give
where
it
you
to
can't
people that
do
are close to you
something
or
that
give it to
normal
charity.
people can do. Do you think they're really gonna? Do you think they're really gonna accept
Believe
that
you.
you can't spend your own money?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that makes sense. But I think I would still do it because I like helping out people. I don't mind doing that
lying.
sort of thing. I'll be honest. I would like to be able to use that money for myself because I have things that I would like to buy, but I don't mind spending
Food.
money on other people.
And you still have to have a job because none of that million can be used on yourself.
Yeah, like I would still have to have a job, so I would still be making money. It's not like I just suddenly
Well-
can't make money anymore.
if you're living with someone else in a house, then you can give it to that person, then they can pay the bills for it.
That's the thing, though. That's a
That's
loophole.
technically your money being used for yourself.
Yeah, that person is now.
So as long
using
as that
money
million
for
isn't
you.
used for yourself, you can use any other kind of money that
Okay,
you
but
make.
how about this? Somebody asks for money, saying that it's for themselves, but then they go and spend it for you without you knowing.
The
feel like you
money.
Is
just
that
die.
allowed?
I don't know. The fucking money knows. It doesn't work.
You just
The
get a
bill
nosebleed and
spend
you're like,
half if
damn
it-
it, who's
If
doing
it has
it
a
again?
slight intention to be used for you.
Poison damage.
Source got what I said.
So if they try to buy you a present, the bills are broken before they're able to be redeemed.
Oh, it's
okay.
like. Alright,
Tries to be transferred to a bank account, it's a failed transaction.
that was your idea, right? So, Luke, or not
Mine.
Luke?
No, that's Caleb.
Caleb.
Okay.
And you
Ah,
fucking
fuck.
Oh, we
put
both
money-
did it.
Everybody did it. Shut up.
Whose idea was it? It was beep beep.
It was Luigi Cheap.
Wiki.
Yeah, it was Luigi's.
I got a would you rather, actually.
Alright, lay it on us.
Would you rather have a pause button or a rewind button in your life?
Rewind.
Rewind button so I can get rid of everything.
Fuck I
Because
do with the pause?
what the hell? What the fuck
What
could
would
you do with
your
a?
pause?
Can you now?
Well,
Can you
Does
move?
it pause everything and then I
Eliminate
move?
everyone.
You can move around when you pause.
So you
can do
basically have
whatever want
the
when
you have the
pause.
clicker from
But-
Adam Sandler's.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
The movie The
That's-
Click.
But it only
Okay.
it's a giant like remote, but it just has a giant like long one. It takes up the whole controller, and it's either the
And you
pause
drop
button
it.
or the
It's
just
rewind
two
button.
Well, it's like a garage clicker.
Any drawbacks, or is it just it does it and it does it forever?
It does it's there's no
Okay.
like gimmick.
There's-
It says what it does.
It says what it does. No genie voodoo shit.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
I
It's
would
just
go pause.
it's just that really. But you can do
I
it an
don't know,
infinite
I-
amount of times.
I'd do pause.
Hey,
So I could
That's
rewind
actually-
forever. If I could rewind for as much as I want, or is it like a rewind and a cooldown?
You can rewind until you're born, but that's
Well, then you can't stop there.
you
You can't stop at that point.
You can rewind
You,
time,
you
but I
stop
wouldn't
until
think
you
for
go into your
yourself.
dad's nuts.
Then you no
Okay,
longer have
well.
the controller.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can't
no.
you can't use the controller until you get back
Just
to that
out of
point in your
touch.
life where you get it again.
Yeah, I don't know, because if you fuck up something, and you got the
You get knocked.
rewind,
You get knocked
but
down. You
could-
press the button. How far back you going?
Yeah, I can always pause whenever I'm in a sticky situation and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I think
well,
maybe
like
a
something
pause would
that
be
you
better.
could do. You could
Okay,
go
well,
down
if
this
you- if-
whole.
If you
Road of
do the
life.
rewind, oh, sorry,
You go.
continue.
You go.
Okay. Well, if you do the rewind button, then you're just gonna backtrack your steps. You're not gonna be able to move around and just stay in that one spot while you rewind time.
Say you get
have
shot.
hindsight.
If you get
You
shot, then the bullet's just gonna go like right out of you, and your wound's gonna close and everything.
It's gonna hurt in reverse.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Pretty much.
It's like rewinding.
You're
could
gonna
save
feel everything in
you
back
correctly.
in reverse. Everything you feel will be reversed.
You could also what you could also do with rewind is you could live your entire life, then rewind and go an entirely different route. You could
Ultimate
theoretically,
Yeah.
Oh
you
my
can
god!
live your life
multiple
as many
endings.
times as you want.
Double
What was that
end.
book? That was the book Choose Your Own Adventure at Chili's. Or what was it? I don't remember what it was. Something
10 years.
ninjas.
I know
so
exactly what you're
random.
talking
beers
about.
at Chili's,
knows-
and it just has
I know what you're
nothing to
talking
do
about,
with-
but
yeah.
I can't remember it either.
Something about ninjas, 10 beers, and Chili's.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
No. So
I know
the
exactly
picture
what you're
had
talking
the
about.
picture had ninjas on it, but the caption had nothing to do with the ninjas. It just says
Oh,
getting drunk with
10
10
beers
beers at Chili's or something like that.
and it was like a
Yeah.
Choose Your Own
It's like
Adventure
good
book.
ending, you defeat
Yeah,
the
it was a choose your
ninjas.
own adventure. I remember that.
Good ending, you defeat the ninjas. Bad ending.
You don't need to fit the ninjas. Ambiguous ending. You
That's
become
so
friends.
fucking
What was the
funny.
ambiguous ending?
You become friends with the ninjas. You befriend the
You
ninjas.
become a part of the ninjas.
Plot twist: you are the ninja.
You part of the
You
ninjas.
were the
Did you-
ninja the entire
Did you
time.
ever read
Alternate
those
reality.
books? Those books were
What?
weird.
plot.
I hated
twist, you
most
ran
of
out
them.
chilies.
Most of them
The
didn't
10 beers
have
of
like
Chili's?
multiple endings.
They just led to like the 2, but it was like different paths.
Yeah. Oh.
That's the picture.
Jaws sent it. 14 beers at Chili's.
Oh,
Just
14.
the guy-
Sorry.
Yeah.
We got our
The
math wrong.
guy just drop kicking the ninja in the face.
I can't look at it without ruining the video, but I'll take
Yeah.
it.
Oh God, what was I gonna say? I think I would take the rewind because
It's a very hard
you
choice
could
for me.
live life for as long as you wanted.
Yeah, it's like
Is there a fast
immortality,
forward
but
option?
without the inability to die. You can
Yeah.
die if you
Can I-
wanted
well,
to.
can
If you
I-
ever
for,
got
like,
bored
For an
of
extra
living.
10 grand, can I get a button that just turns on closed caption?
This isn't a million.
Close
No, but I want money for. Can I get closed caption as another
Yes.
option then?
Can they get ad revenue?
Ad revenue.
Who's gonna watch it?
I feel like
I
trying to
will.
think. You
could
just
really
you just
spy on
get one
people
that
with
just
that.
says you get a remote that just
Spy
says
on people,
eject, and
but-
every time you use it, it just sends somebody off the face of the earth. And just fly into space, and it's just like
we're
see ya.
developing a controller,
Where?
a remote.
John wasn't.
Remote
What's another
control that
button?
works on anything that you
Guide? What is
point
guide?
at.
What would
John
guide
was an
do?
imposter.
What would guide do?
Yeah, I think I would have to choose rewind. What about you
God,
guys?
you eject.
Yeah, rewind 100%.
I still think I'm gonna go with pause. What's the
I think
point
I'd
of
do the
living
rewind.
long if you're gonna do, you're eventually gonna do everything and just get bored.
Well, I mean, you can kill yourself at that end.
Yeah, well,
I
that's the
mean,
thing, it's
if
like-
you get bored, then you don't have to use the rewind anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
like there's a certain point
With
where you
with
But
pause,
then you
not
still have to
mandatory.
deal with the life wherever you left off at, and you're
What
gonna
do
be
you
bored
mean?
for the rest of your life.
oh,
There's no fast forward option.
wise ones called it Groundhog Day, but with control. Oh, that's a good one.
That's $1 million idea.
$1 million, but you have to live Groundhog Day and figure out how to do everything perfectly.
I gotta be honest, I've never seen
Well,
Groundhog.
I've never fully watched Groundhog Day.
So Groundhog
Never did,
Day.
I know the basics.
So basically, guys stuck in a time loop. I think the
He
original.
needed to be
who is it?
good because he was kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he was a dick at the beginning of the movie. He was just an absolute jerk. And so basically anytime he dies, the day goes back to the morning of that same day. Or anytime
Well,
the
I
day
know
ends,
that. I just don't know
goes
why
back to
he was
there.
stuck.
there's no reason for it.
No, I meant like what he had to do to get out of it. I never watched it that far.
Oh, what he had to do everything perfectly. Like there was one part where he watched the news and saw that a kid died falling out of a tree, and so he saves the kid during like. Long story short, he starts becoming like a nicer guy because he, like at one of the runs, he like gives a homeless guy as much food as he can eat, but the homeless guy passes away. Like in that same day, and he's just like, "Can I do anything to save him?" And he's just like, he's having to deal with that, and so he starts falling in love and that sort of thing, and so he's just got to do everything right. Like he's no longer allowed to be a jerk to people, and that sort of thing, and he like that sort of thing. And there
Does
are
he ever get out of it?
yeah. At the end of the movie, he does the perfect day where he's nice to this guy, like nice to everybody. Like learns to play the. For some reason, he like learns to play the piano, and that was one of the things that he had to do.
What?
He gets this.
Gentleman qualities.
He gets this girl to fall in love with him, and long story short, at the end he falls asleep. Like he sleeps with the girl, and wakes up the next morning out of the time loop. And there's many parodies of it. What is the one on Hulu called? Can't remember.
There's Happy Death
Palm
Day.
Springs.
Oh, is it Palm Springs?
Yeah,
But,
I think it's
that-
Palm
Hot
Springs.
Tub Time Machine.
Okay.
I never watched that. I heard.
I never watched
Like-
it either, but I hear it's hilarious.
Yeah, I hear it's funny. we were too young to have watched that when it came out. But yeah, there's plenty. There was like this one where this girl, like two people. It's usually nowadays. It's usually two people are now stuck in it. Oh, Live Die Repeat with Tom Hanks, or not Tom Hanks.
That's not. It's not called that. Isn't it called the Tomorrow
Yeah, I think
War?
it's Live Die Repeat. I'm pretty sure.
That's the slogan for it. It's called the Tomorrow War.
Oh,
Edge of Tomorrow.
With
Edge
Chris
of Tomorrow
Pratt.
is something.
Tom Cruise.
Its slogan is Live Die
No.
Repeat.
No, there's
wait.
a
Am I thinking
Edge of
the wrong one?
Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow was originally called Live Die Repeat, and they changed the name. I'm 100% certain of that. I know which one you're talking
thinking
about.
the wrong movie.
The one, the Amazon one.
Yeah.
With, Chris Pratt was horrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was so bad. Plot was everywhere.
Yeah.
Times, like Edge of Tomorrow, I watched part of it. I think the plot was he had to save the world or something like that.
It's just
Yeah.
no. The whole
I've seen
thing.
it, but I can't remember.
It was
Okay.
there's a race of creatures that's kind of like a hive mind was attacking, and one of the alpha ones he killed. Its blood basically sent loops because the creature can loop the day, and that's how it's been winning against the humans.
Oh, I remember.
So
'Cause he
one of
has
the
the
creatures blew
claymore.
up, and it gave him the ability to do that, and so that's how he
Yeah, because
uses
he
that
has the
against the creature.
claymore. Yeah, I remember. Because at the beginning of the movie, he like runs out of ammo or something, and he holds the claymore and like blows it up, and its blood gets all over him and like melts him. I
It
remember.
melts him, and then he wakes up that morning.
I didn't watch it because I don't remember why I didn't watch it, but I saw that part at least and was just like, oh, that's actually relatively interesting.
I had $1 million.
But yeah, there's like
Got it.
plenty of spin-offs of that sort of stuck in a time loop, and you have to get it out by doing everything right.
Do good, and some of them do bad.
I guess that's a thing of like movie cliches. Now it's just that sort of thing. Another one is I feel like this is starting to become more prevalent. World War Z was like I feel like the first one that I remember doing it where the only way to get to save the world is by ending the world or something like that.
What? don't
World
remember
War
that.
Z, I remember something along the lines. Actually, no, I don't think.
It was the way they solved it is because the virus, when it detected someone that was already terminally ill, it didn't kill them. So they found a disease that made it seem like they were terminally ill, so the zombies wouldn't attack them.
Oh, I thought I never saw in the movie, but my parents told me because I was too young to watch it. But they told me like they said it as in. Long story short, they infected themselves with the same virus.
It's not the same virus. They infect themselves with something that's deadly, but something that's easily cured. I don't remember what it was though.
I feel like that sort of. I don't know. Now that I said it, I can't remember anything else that has that.
Because I remember it showed different examples of like there was like a kid that was like bald, so it's assumed that he had cancer, and the zombies all avoided him.
Zombies are a big cliche right now.
Are they? I haven't really seen a
They're
zombie
getting
movie.
boring. I still like the
Well-
games, but zombies are just boring, and they're all the same now.
Like now, what they're trying to do is make the zombies intelligent, and like that's not how zombies work. They're decaying, their brains are rotting, and like that sort of thing. There's no way that they could have like the ability to communicate with one another. I feel like while I didn't really love the game, The Last of Us did a really good job at sort of zombie evolution and how it happened. Because instead of doing
It's
like a
not-
virus, they did it with
It's fungal. It's a
spores.
fungal infection.
yeah, which is more reasonable because there's actual fungal viruses which can or like fungal sort of diseases that can like I think there's one that can control snails right now.
There's one that
The one
controls
that can do
ants.
ants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's one that does ants, and I remember there's one that does snails, and it's super creepy because you can see it inside its head.
It pops out at the top of the head.
Yeah, but you like that sort of thing. I feel like they're starting. Like some cases, they do zombies really well, but in some cases, like, it doesn't make sense that it's been like 5 years and zombies from like when it started can run at like 20 miles per hour. Like that doesn't make sense. Zombies should not be able to like they're decaying organisms. They cannot
It's also
run
a
as
movie.
fast as. But that's the thing is like it doesn't stand up to reality, which I guess sort of bugs me. But anyways, I liked the progression of The Last of Us's sort of thing where they're not super intelligent, but like they're adapting.
Evolving.
Yeah, because like there's the clickers who have to adapt because they can no longer see, and then later on in the story you meet the tanky boys who are like have so much infection that they are just like it becomes bulletproof armor basically. Trying to think of anything else. A lot of TV shows, I guess, like superhero stuff and like animes. I hate the trope of like, oh man, this character got beaten, but he's getting his second win and he's gonna come back even more powerful. It's like,
With this new ability you've never heard
yeah,
of.
it's just like, what the fuck? How do they know how to use it? Because they always know how to use it perfectly, and then afterwards they're just like, oh, I don't know how to use this.
I like when it's teased, like spoiler for Endgame, but you know how Captain America moved the hammer and Thor wasn't.
Yeah, like
Oh.
that was fucking
Ragnarok?
sick. If I'm being honest,
They confirmed that he knew he could lift the hammer, but he didn't for Thor's sake.
Yeah, like, and that was their whole reasoning. If he's like, oh, I can move this, I should probably stop. But then in Endgame, he's just like, all right, it's time. Like that was sick.
Worthy.
That sort of thing was really cool to me. Just being able to, like, having that sort of level progression.
It's
Like,
teased
especially-
that they can do it, not just out of the blue.
In animes, they do that all the fucking time. Like, I'm
It
watching
was
One
also
Piece.
power of friendship.
But like in One Piece, there's a thing where Luffy fucking sets his arm on fire, and like that's not his ability. Like, he just straight up does that out of the like, and there's context to why he does it, but like, there's no reason for why he should have been able to do that, and I don't think he does it ever again. And like I sort of don't like that sort of just like, all right, it's my one-shot move.
That's where Dragon Ball Z was originally going with the Spirit Bomb, and then they started making it to where the enemies were too strong for that.
Oh, like, yeah,
Like
they.
at first, it like almost killed Vegeta. Then Frieza just didn't die to it, and then fucking Jiren just hit it back at Goku.
Yeah, like, I didn't watch Dragon Ball, but in One Piece, there was literally a point in time where they were, like, getting their asses handed to them. And they were like, alright, they get separated at some point, and they're like, alright, well, we gotta go meet up. And some guy is just like, what the fuck do you mean you gotta meet up? You just got your asses handed to you, and they're like, that person wasn't even the strongest person in the world. Like, what the fuck do you mean you're gonna go back at this level? And so, like, there's a whole, like, they train for like 3 years or something like that.
3 minutes.
And it's just like, okay, cool, well, this makes sense. They're not just gonna continuously scrape by. They're finally gonna get powered up. But then you get characters who are just like, oh man, if you hadn't have powered up, you would be fucked right now.
Since we're on the topic of anime, do y'all like the training sections?
I don't hate them.
Training?
Like, say in
Gotta remember
Naruto,
Ramen.
like,
Robin
I don't-
doesn't watch
I
the
don't-
you're
I
anime.
not
don't
an
really watch
anime guy? Fucking
I don't think
non-weeb.
Water Source does either. I know.
Been here this entire time. So I
Theseus. I know Theseus watches anime, and then Irish is in the audience, but I don't think he wants to talk.
No, shut up! Do not come in here.
But I mean, I don't hate them, but only when they're important and actually make a difference. Because I haven't watched all of Naruto, but I remember my dad telling me. No, there's a lot of shows that I have put off because I've got other shows.
What part are you on?
I think I'm halfway through the show.
What's the last thing you remember?
Where he, what is it? The Rasengan?
Rasengan, yeah.
Yeah, that he has to use a clone in order to actually do.
Uh-huh.
That's about where I'm at.
Oh, you're not even on Shippuden yet?
No.
Oh, yeah, you're
Shut up.
Oh, you gotta hurry that shit up. That's a hell of a good show.
I know it's good, and I know it's like one of the...
Yes, Naruto.
Man,
I forget what is considered the big three. I know Naruto is
Dragon Ball.
Is One
Naruto,
Piece the other word?
It's either One Piece or Bleach. It's very mixed. It's dependent.
Both of which are really good.
One Piece takes so long to even get decent.
So Bleach, they should have. How far are you into Bleach?
I couldn't get into it, honestly.
Oh, really?
I tried watching it for like 5 episodes and it just didn't catch my attention. I might try and watch it again later.
Now that I got introduced to, yes, I know that JoJo got popular. I don't like JoJo. JoJo's too weird for me. Like it's just maniacally weird at parts that it doesn't need to be.
I couldn't get into it either. I hated the English dub because I was watching it on Netflix at the time, and it's just the accent that they had was so unnecessary.
Yeah, they fuck up things in the English dub. I feel like way too often.
But I just watch English dub because it's it's easily accessible. I could do stuff. I don't have to watch the screen constantly.
Yeah, that's why my dad likes dubs. Is because both he and I have really bad ADHD. So he likes to just have it as sort of a background thing. He doesn't really like paying attention to it.
I mean, like if you're eating, you have to look down at your bowl. You can't just.
Oh yeah, no, that's the fucking worst when you're trying to eat. You just are like, oh, I guess I gotta look at the subtitles.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say,
feel what's going on. You just see an explosion all of a sudden. Like, what the fuck just happened? Rewind.
Like with Bleach, they could have ended it at a point, and they didn't. They chose to keep going, and it's just like, you set it up that you were going to end it. Long story short, there's a point of time where they make it seem like Ichigo's gonna lose his powers for good. And I'm just like, alright, well, he just defeated this big bad of, like, the entire, like, world and, like, sort of, like, where the, monsters are coming from, that sort of world. I can't remember, it's been a while. But he does that, and then they continue on like nothing fucking happened, except now he's having trouble controlling his powers. And it's just like, what the fuck? You should have ended it there. That would have been a good ending.
I also hate those kinds of endings. Wow, you saved the world, but now you don't have the ability to do it ever again.
Like
huh?
Yeah, but I feel like that's a better ending than continuing on going when
if he's like trying to like rehabilitate himself to do it again, then
well, no. But here's the thing: he's still losing his powers, but he's just fighting on and being like, "It doesn't matter. I'll keep doing this," instead of coming to terms with the fact that he's losing his powers. I think other people might view it differently, but personally, I feel like that was a dumb thing that they did. I recently finished as far as they got in the Hunter x Hunter anime.
Oh, I loved Hunter x Hunter.
We are an hour and 9 minutes in.
Okay. This can be the second part. Let's
Yeah,
finish on
I
something
still want to
more
go on. Me, me and Luigi are gonna go off about anime for a little while, but I fucking hated the ending, and I understand that it was not finished.
No, that's
the
nowhere
manga's-
near finished.
It's never going to be finished. Ever. The manga is no longer going to be finished. It has been like, can't remember how long. It's been like 5 years since he went on hiatus for
COVID.
overworking or some shit.
And then
he-
COVID hit.
No, it 2016. This was in 2016 before COVID even was a thing. And
Yeah,
he
he
just
was gonna
hasn't.
start coming back, and then COVID hit, and that's what made him do another hiatus. And he refuses to
reason?
tell the story for someone else to write.
Yeah, and that fucking pisses me off. Like, you have people who are waiting for this to come out. Just fucking let somebody else do it if you can't do it. It's very annoying to me. Because I feel like luckily I didn't get into the manga. I got into the anime, which has a decent ending for the anime. There are still a lot of
Yeah.
questions that could be asked, like I don't feel like
And
well
Denver.
Killua is no longer a part of the story, a big part of the story as he was, because
but it still showed that they're gonna do stuff.
yeah, but like I never felt like the spiders. I can't remember what their name.
Spiders, yes, the Phantom Troop.
Phantom Troop. There was no conclusion with that because you see Kurapika and just sitting there like looking at the eyes, and you're just like, all right, cool. Where's this going? And it's like end of season, end of show, and I'm just like, oh, what?
Yeah, the
There was so many
spiders never got killed. They can continue with that.
They
Gon
could
found
continue.
his father, but you can continue with like how much power he had. There's still like ways he got
Like,
stronger.
because he lost majority of his power, or like the whole thing is he lost his nin after that whole thing, and
He didn't
like
lose his nen. He got it back because of the wish.
I don't. There is things that say that he had to work to get it back to the point that he had it, but it was easier than having to restart from the beginning.
Yeah,
I-
because he kind of knew what to do.
Yeah, but, like there was no finished business with Hisoka. Like I felt like that whole situation. I was just like, I wanted to see Gon beat the shit out of Hisoka at one point in time.
But they still have to have the fight with the one guy, the leader of the Phantom Troop in Hisoka. They never got to have that fight.
Yeah, that
And
never
now that
happened.
he has his nen back, I believe if that happened in the anime, he got his
Yeah.
nen back.
In the anime, they exercise. They
Yeah, the
allude to him
exorcist.
getting the Kurapika's thing exercised.
Exorcist. Whatever. Oh, I'm
trying
not
to
sure
think.
exercise is the correct term.
Exercised.
Or-
It's
yeah.
it's the same thing. But trying to
Words
think
are
of what
hard.
else.
I'm back.
There was just a lot of shit that wasn't answered, and I was just like, oh well, it's a better ending apparently than where the manga was at, because the
I believe it just
manga
left on
apparently
just
yeah it
dip.
just left in the middle of the story. Yeah. Otter Source, do you watch? Both you and Luigi? Did you guys watch One Punch Man?
I watched
I
One Punch
watched
Man.
like the
The
beginning,
only anime I watched.
like a few episodes into season 2, and then stopped.
Okay. What about you,
I
Luigi?
watched.
Did he die? Yes, he died.
I think it died.
I was saying,
I-
that's the only anime I've ever watched. It's One
Sorry,
Punch
my
Man.
headset died. What did y'all say?
You said
One
One
Punch
Punch
Man.
Man.
One Punch Man. I wanted to start watching it, but it was like one day before it got off of Netflix, so I decided, I'm not gonna just. I'm not just gonna
It's on
watch
Hulu,
it.
I think.
I
On
think
Hulu?
it's on
I
Hulu.
might watch. I don't have Hulu. I have
It's
HBO.
only got 2 seasons out though, I think.
I
And the
was
manga
gonna
isn't
start
finished
watching
yet.
it. I
Well, the
started
manga.
watching Fate instead.
Oh yeah. Thanks, the Theseus. I don't know if I'm gonna watch
What?
it. 8.
I started watching
Spanish?
Fate.
Yeah,
It's so hard to understand him.
keep
But,
interrupting each other.
It's latency, man. It's gonna happen with doing it this way with everybody with different internet and that sort of thing. The reason I want to talk about it is the manga pisses me off
Why?
because they try to make the other characters seem important, and they just get their asses beat to a pulp by.
I mean, the
that the
entire
point of
anime
the
just
show?
sounds like a joke. Like he's at the end game, right? Like he's supposed to be the strongest
That's
he'll
the
ever
thing.
be.
Is he had it's been like 30 chapters, and he has not been in a single one of them. It's just been the other heroes getting their asses kicked.
And I hate
That's
the
just like
since I have no context of the actual thing, I just know like he has like a normal punch, his serious punch, and his like super serious punch or whatever.
Well, he
If
has.
it
He has
can
his,
be
he
a
has his
stronger
normal
punch,
series, and then he has his serious series of punches. The
and then he
killer
just
series.
has death. There's
Yeah,
literally
just-
a scene, the scene where it just says death, and it's just,
I haven't seen that. Why? I don't read the manga. I just watch the.
no. It's in the anime. It's when he practice fights with Genos, and Genos is like, "I need you to be serious." And he's like, "You want serious?" And he doesn't hit him, but you just see the wind pressure just destroys an entire mountain behind him.
Yeah. It destroys the entire mountain behind him. Yeah, I forget about that.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know if there's really anything good that I've seen.
The whole point of that
recently.
show is that he's gonna be the most powerful, and it's kind of a rip on powerful heroes.
Well, yeah, I get that, but I would like to see more of him. Like, there's not really enough of him in the manga currently, and I don't know because the newest one came out yesterday. And it
Really?
alludes to something showing up, but I don't know what shows up.
I didn't know when the. I'm just waiting on the actual like anime to release something.
Yeah, I don't know when it's gonna come out because they're still relatively close to when the anime left off.
Because they
don't feel-
haven't fully introduced the main villain, right? To Saitama.
Not really, and
Well,
it's
he's
only
encountered
really
him multiple
recently.
times. You just didn't realize it.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the Hero Hunter.
Yeah, I don't remember his
Yeah.
name.
I don't remember. It starts with a G, I think, but I can't
It's
remember.
like Gordo or something.
Yeah, like spoiler warning. He kills the fucking monster boss with one punch. Like it
Well,
was
I mean,
pretty
that's
obvious
his
that
name.
not
I don't
not
know.
the Hero Hunter. The Hero Hunter he's still yet to
I know.
fight, and I don't know
And
if
he
he
has
will.
he has yet to fight him properly. But I assume
I
he
think-
killed the Monster King in one punch.
Did they
so
show that in the
gimmick.
anime?
No, he hasn't. They've shown the Monster King, but they haven't shown him facing up against anyone.
I don't want the fucking.
There's a whole minute you have to do,
to
you
be
know,
in
cursing.
there.
Yeah, in order to monetize things, I would like to get started that way, or later on, if we do start getting actually popular, which I don't know if that'll happen ever. Anyways,
Penny.
cut all of that out, please, because that was just useless banter. We're trying to close out the podcast.
No.
Thank you. I guess so. Thanks for coming. This was an interesting one, but I feel like we got to where we sort of wanted to do, where it was more of how we actually talk, where we just sort of go on about stuff. Because the other times it was sort of hard to bring up topics sometimes. So this one was a nice change of pace, as well as the costumes were interesting to do for this one.
Wasn't
But
even
yeah,
before the
thank you for
podcast, was it?
coming. What?
Costumes. What a
costumes?
fucking building.
As in the profile changes, dumbasses. God damn it.
I said it.
I'm
It wasn't
literally a
even
milk
for the. You know what? Never mind. Let's end. End it now.
Hey. Thank you for coming. We had fun. I think. Subscribe if you
Cut
want
him out in the
subscribe.
middle of while he's talking about that.
No!